Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this one we are checking out the F6F-5, which is sitting in rank 3 of the American Tech Tree. Let's see how much horsepower it has really quick. 1,999 horsepower, and the takeoff power is 2,400 horsepower, but this thing is fast, and it's built like a tank and flies like a tank. But I'll tell you guys more about that whenever we're showing the gameplay. So without any further ado, let's cut right into it. Alrighty guys, here's the first clip, and now that I'm doing the voiceover for this video, I've put quite a bit of time in with the American variant and the French variant of this plane, and it's very quickly becoming one of my favorite props. I mean, you've got a pretty good climb rate. It's around 12. It's somewhere in the ballpark of 12 to 14 meters a second, which for how big this plane is, that's not bad at all. Like I said in the intro, you have 2,000 horsepower out of a radial engine just at your disposal. It's all on tap. And this plane can soak up bullets. As you can see here, they are just peppering my plane, and it just keeps going. It does not care at all whatsoever. So as far as turning goes, with this being an American plane, surprisingly it turns very good for what it is. It can keep up, and any time that you're going up against a plane that can outturn you, you're most likely going to be faster than them. So just throttle up and run away. I mean, don't run back to your airfield, because only players with skill issues do that type of stuff. But you can really put some distance between you and your enemies and reevaluate the fight. Now, in this clip, I did not do that. I didn't really have much of a choice. It just kind of happened. Which sometimes you'll get games like that where you aren't really in the best position. If you try to run away, you're still gonna have a hard time with most of your enemies. And he downs me right here. It just cuts off. But some planes you might have to watch out for are like the Key 61, Focke-Wulf 190s. This plane's only at 3.3, so you're not getting into any of the faster variants of the 190s. As far as speed goes, you're pretty high up in the lobby. There aren't too many planes that are going to be faster than you. And as an American plane, it does have the altitude performance, but it has low altitude performance as well. I didn't really have very much of a hard time below 1,500 meters like you would in something like the P-47. Sometimes the P-51s can struggle with it too. It just depends on the variant. So overall, it's a super fun plane to fly, and it's pretty easy. The first time I played it, no prior experience with the F6F. It of course was hard. But the more you play it and the more familiar you get with how this plane flies, the more successful you're going to be. Like right here, I think I get into 2 or 3 different head-ons, and you can just spray and pray with the 50 cals, and you're probably going to get out of the head-on. It's always recommended to not ever full commit into a head-on. That can get very bad very quickly. But with the fire rate of the 50 cals and just the power behind them, you're going to be pretty successful. Um, is something else is energy retention. This plane keeps its speed up pretty well, and as long as you stay over 300 kilometers an hour, you shouldn't really have an issue with maneuverability. It's not going to handle like a Zero. It is a boat. It almost feels like flying a tank around. It's almost on P-47 and Corsair levels, but it's not quite there. And even just flying this plane, it's just good to look at. Completely off topic, and that doesn't have anything to do with the performance of it, but it's just pleasing to the eye. It looks good, whereas something like the XF-5F, that thing is butt ugly. So, always a joy to look at. It can really dish out some damage in battle, and it's pretty easy to be successful with. Now, we'll talk about the gameplay here a little bit. That P-66, I ended up outmaneuvering him, and I think he was just too damaged, and he ended up flying into the ground. Not a big deal. But if you're high up in this plane and do have an energy advantage over the enemy team, you're set up for success. You're really not going to have a hard time keeping your energy at all. Let's see. And if you're above your opponents, it's going to be pretty easy to energy trap them. You know, the F6F was designed to fight against Zeros, so it's quite the formidable opponent. And it's really hard to take down. It's going to take quite a bit of cannons, and anything with like 7.7s, or I think the Japanese and the 109s both have 7.7s, but those aren't going to hardly touch you. I believe that there's bulletproof glass around the canopy too that's just protecting your pilot. I don't actually think that I've been pilot sniped too many times in this plane. But really quick, I'm going to be able to catch up to this LA GG3 or Dash 3 and get him out of the game pretty quickly. And I was pretty close to the airfield, but I was able to catch up to him and get out of there before the anti-air snipers of the airfield were able to take off my wings. Now, if those get to you, it's just game over, but that's pretty much in every plane. Anyways, get him out of the way. Next kill is going to be a bomber. 50 cals just tear right through it. It's a Z-1007, something like that. I think it's a Italian or French plane. That's something that the baguette people would name their planes. Here's the kill coming up, and right after that kill we're gonna stop the video there. So as always, if you guys liked watching, leave a like down below. If you have any planes you want to see me fly, leave them in a comment. And if you have any War Thunder tips, they can be random, like or even just a random tidbit fact of information about some random Israeli plane, just leave them in a comment below. I love hearing what you guys have to say. So subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of what I do, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.